Chapter 1: The Burden of Seeking Justice. Imagine being a victim of a crime, carrying the weight of that experience, mustering the courage to step forward, only to face a legal system that seems to work against you. Is justice truly served when victims are left feeling overwhelmed, re-traumatized, and in some cases, further victimized by the very system designed to protect them? Consider the case of Sarah, a composite representation of many victims' experiences. Sarah was a victim of a crime that left her traumatized and seeking justice. But the journey to justice was not as straightforward as one would hope. To start, Sarah had to navigate the complex labyrinth of the legal system, a journey made all the more difficult by her lack of legal knowledge and resources. And then, there's the social stigma. Sarah's case was one that society often shies away from discussing. Her experience was dismissed, trivialized, and even blamed on her by some. This stigmatization brought with it a sense of shame and isolation, making the pursuit of justice an even lonelier endeavor. Chapter 2: Hurdles in Legal Proceedings. The legal proceedings themselves were a hurdle. Hearings were delayed, postponed, sometimes for months. Each delay meant Sarah had to relive the trauma, keeping her wounds fresh and healing far from reach. The cost, too, was a significant barrier. Legal fees piled up, making the pursuit of justice a financially draining endeavor. These factors combined to create a system where Sarah, like many victims, felt unheard, unsupported, and left to bear the burden of seeking justice alone. This is not an isolated incident, but a recurring theme in our legal system. Chapter 3: The Need for Legal Reform. So, what can be done to rectify this? Legal reform is a necessity. The legal system needs to be more victim-centric, focusing on the needs and rights of the victims, rather than solely on the prosecution of the perpetrator. This includes providing victims with the necessary support, both emotionally and financially, during their pursuit of justice. Moreover, society needs to be educated about victim blaming and stigmatization. We must foster an environment where victims feel safe to come forward, knowing that they will be heard, believed, and supported. Chapter 4: Advocating for Change. Remember, justice is not just about punishing the wrongdoer. It's also about healing the victim, restoring their dignity, and giving them the closure they need to move forward. It's time to advocate for change. Encourage lawmakers to push for legal reform. Support organizations that provide resources for victims. Educate others about the challenges victims face in seeking justice. Because everyone deserves a legal system that truly serves justice. Justice should not be a privilege. It should be a right. And it's up to us to ensure that it is.